Welcome to the Real Life Weight Loss Podcast, where we cut through the confusion and get down to the truth about what really works for real people when it comes to losing weight, having incredible health, and a body that you love. We believe that losing weight is really about gaining life, doing things you never thought you could, having renewed confidence, and enjoying your body more than ever. I'm your host, Corey Little. Now let's get to it. Hello and happy holidays. I hope everyone is having wonderful holidays. I want to thank you so much for spending some of your holidays with me. This is episode number 274, and today I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to help you do a very honest evaluation of where you're at with your body and what the best next step will be for you, especially since we're going into a new year, right? And everybody's about to be super motivated and ready to set New Year's resolutions and achieve some weight loss goals. So I encourage you, grab a pen and paper or open the notes section of your phone, because this episode will be extremely helpful for you if you're looking to lose weight anytime, but especially in the new year. Okay? Okay. But first, here's the thing. I've got a quick question for you. Have you ever wished that you had a food and nutrition and diet expert, a weight loss expert, to help you kind of cut through all the confusion and crap from the diet and weight loss industry? You know, somebody that you could just ask your questions to, hey, what do you think about this diet? Have you ever heard of this supplement? Help me not waste a bunch of money on stupid weight loss solutions that don't work this new year. Well, you have that opportunity. Look, if you would like to know a realistic way to lose weight and not gain it back, if you would like to know how to lose weight without constantly stressing about being perfect with your food, or if you want to know how to stop mentally beating yourself up all the time, then I highly recommend right now, mark it on your calendar, go register. I'm doing a free class on Thursday, January 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll teach you some of the most important stuff I know about losing weight, and you are guaranteed the truth. I will provide honest input to help you be set up for incredible success in 2024 and not fall victim to all the snazzy marketing out there in the diet and weight loss industry. Okay, so put it on your calendar, January 11th, 8 p.m., and go to everybodyhatesdiets.com to register. You can find that link down in the show notes. Okay, now let's get this episode rolling. So recently I was at a wedding, and it never fails. If I'm at a wedding or some sort of a social function, a dinner party or a church function, or just hanging out with friends and family, I always get a ton of questions about exercise or this food or that food or some supplement or whatever. And it's okay. I don't mind it. I'm happy to help as much as I can. But there is one question that I routinely get asked that honestly kind of drives me a little nuts. And it drives me nuts for two specific reasons. One, because the person usually asks the question just to kind of be cute or funny and get a response from everyone else. And then number two, because it's an unanswerable question. So we're all standing around munching on appetizers, or people are sipping their wine or drinking beer, and someone looks over at me and they say, "So Corey, how do I get rid of this?" As they reach down to grab their belly fat or their love handles or whatever part of their body they feel is kind of a little extra fluffy and extra fat, and they especially don't like. Now, even though everything inside me wants to respond with, "Oh, wow, great question. You know, I've never heard that one before," just drenching it with enough sarcasm that we could all dip our appetizers in it. Even though that's how I want to respond, I don't. I don't respond like that because I get it. If I were in their shoes, I might ask the same thing. So I want to extend some grace and try to provide some helpful yet really honest and realistic guidance. So I usually say something like this. First of all, hey, let's be honest. You're already pretty amazing just how you are. And I bet you're in pretty good shape too. And I bet you really enjoy your life. So the real question is this: do you really want to give up everything you'll have to in order to lose that? Do you really want to do all that you'll have to do to get those results? Is it truly worth it to you? Now, for some people, right then and there, they get it. It's like a light bulb turns on in their head, and they're like, nah, I don't want to give up my beer or my wine or my desserts or my lazy afternoons on the couch. Or actually, if I'm honest with myself, I just don't want to change anything about my life in general. Sure, I wish this extra fat on my tummy or love handles wasn't there, or I wish my thighs were smaller, whatever your specific thing is. But it doesn't bother me bad enough to really and truly do something about it. Sometimes that's the end of that conversation and we're on to talking about sports or the weather. But for others, the light bulb doesn't flip on that quick and they're a little more serious and they say something like, well, my life, it isn't bad, but I mean, really, man, like, how do I get rid of this? What do I need to do? Like, what do you recommend? Okay, here we go. So my first recommendation is this. Don't ask a $500 question in a 50-cent setting. It's kind of like running into Warren Buffett at a wedding reception and then saying, hey, Warren, hey, man, I want to be a millionaire. What should I do? I mean, you can break it down and give me the answer in the next couple minutes, right? It's not like you've been studying this for decades and you've devoted your entire life to being financially successful and wealthy. Nah, just real quick, man. You know the secrets. Just real quick. Tell me what I need to do. And that's pretty absurd, right? Well, guess what? It's the exact same thing for me. To truly help someone lose weight and achieve their goals, I need so much more information and we need so much more time. And then it hits me. They're asking this question because they don't know. Like, they don't realize how complicated the answer is. They think it has a really simple answer. They're waiting for a really basic 2-minute response like, man, you got to cut out carbs. I'm telling you, that'll do it. Or just start doing 1 hour of cardio every morning. That burns fat like crazy. Or stop eating after 5 p.m. Just don't eat anything after 5, and that will really, really help you lose that belly fat or trim down your thighs or whatever. Or you know what? If you really want to get some abs and you really want to tone down that midsection, you got to do high rep ab work, crunches and leg raises and planks at least every day of the week, maybe twice a day. You can't just work abs once or twice per week. That doesn't burn off that belly fat like doing it every day will. That's what they're waiting for and hoping for and maybe even expecting, but that's not what I'm going to say because it isn't the truth and it doesn't work. And that's not how I work. I'm not just going to feed somebody a big lie just to get them off my back. Losing body fat, regardless if it's coming from your belly or your thighs or your arms or your hips, losing fat from anywhere on your body is not as easy or simple as cutting out a certain food or food group or jacking up your exercise. So rather than spout off some quick but totally lame response, I take a few minutes and I try to guide them through a process to help them understand how to best, as they would say, get rid of it, like get rid of this fat. And in the rest of today's episode, I'm going to break it down and walk you through this step-by-step process that I try to guide them through. I promise if you'll pay attention and use what I'm about to share, it could be a very, very powerful tool to assess where you are and help you take the right steps moving forward to truly successful weight loss. Okay, so this 4-step process, it's basically a series of realizations and questions. It's almost like you're having a conversation. I mean, if you were with me at a wedding, you'd be having a conversation with me. But considering we're listening to a podcast or you're listening to a podcast, this is going to be like a conversation with yourself. Okay, so let's go through it. The first step, there must be a realization. And here it is. Here's the realization. Grab your pen. Open up the notes section of your phone. There is no one thing. No one thing that will solve all your problems. No one thing that will magically work. No one thing that I can tell you that will help you lose that fat that you want to lose. There is no one thing. That's the realization. Next up, so after the realization, we have a question. Well, is it worth it to me? Like, don't get it twisted. You can accomplish whatever you want with your body or with your finances, for that matter, as we mentioned earlier. You can accomplish anything, but you must ask yourself, is it worth what I will have to do, the time and energy and effort it will take, and is it worth what I will have to give up in order to achieve that? So we've had a realization, we've had a question, now we have another realization. If the answer to that question is yes, then here's the realization that we need to have. It's going to take some time. This means you have to be patient. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some courage to face your fears and shortcomings and doubts, to repeatedly step out of your comfort zone. But it is possible, and you can do it. Okay, now we're ready for the next step or question in this process. Realization, question, realization. Now we're back to a question. What solution are you going to believe in and commit to? You have a problem. weight that you want to lose, or love handles, thighs that you don't like, poor health, crappy energy, low confidence because of your body, terrible body image, whatever. You have a problem, and if we're going to solve a problem, we need a solution. So what solution are you going to choose? And here's what's so important. Not only what solution are you going to choose, what solution are you going to believe in and fully commit to? Maybe it's a trainer. Maybe it's a popular weight loss program. Maybe it's a diet book that you read. Maybe it's becoming part of my Inner Circle coaching group. Maybe it's someone or something else that you connect with. Regardless, if you're going to be successful, you must have three things. Number one, you must have belief in your solution, in the coach or the program or the process that you are going to use in order to solve your problem. Number one, belief in your solution. The second thing you must have is belief in yourself. At least enough, and some of you may be like, yeah, Corey, okay, I got you, man. That's my problem. I don't believe in myself. I've tried this and failed so many times. I hear you. Hang with me. You just need to have enough belief in yourself to get you started and going, and then you can just lean on the belief in your coach. Well, I call this borrowing belief. At times, you may not believe in yourself, but you can borrow belief from someone else. This is one of the amazing things a great coach can do. Recently, there was a lady in my Inner Circle that said, in the midst of all the craziness of life, I'm down 3 more pounds. I lost 25 pounds last year, but had regained 7. My typical pattern would be to give up and regain all the weight. But Corey's practical nutrition guidance and insatiable positivity kept me from quitting. Now I'm down 21 pounds and counting. Now, what she sees as insatiable positivity is actually just her borrowing my belief. She sees and feels the belief that I have in her and in the process, and that I'm teaching her. And that belief, or positivity, if you want to call it that, it's like fuel that keeps her going when life is crazy and times are tough. So the second thing you need is belief in yourself, just enough to get going, and then you can borrow belief from your coach or whatever solution you're using. The third thing you need to be successful is commitment. Commitment is defined as the state of being dedicated to a cause. Now, some of us like the idea of being committed, and for some of us, it's scary and just honestly seems really overwhelming. But all it means when it comes to losing weight and changing your body is that you're dedicated to yourself. That's it. You are dedicated to the cause of improving your body and your health. And it won't be perfect, and it won't be without mistakes or mess-ups or frustrations, but when it's all said and done, you're not going to quit. Because commitment is being dedicated to yourself and your body and your health. And that keeps you from quitting because you're dedicated. You're committed. So let's take a little moment. Let's take just very quick and do a recap of this whole process, okay? Here we go. Step 1 is a realization. You realize there is no one thing. No one thing that I or anyone can tell you to magically solve all of your weight loss problems and transform your body. Step 2 is a question. You ask yourself, wait a minute, okay, there's no one thing. This is going to be a little more in depth than I thought. Is it worth it to me? And understand that you absolutely can accomplish whatever you want with your body. But is what you want, less belly fat, lose 30 pounds, see your abs, wear a certain size again, whatever, is that thing, that goal important enough to you to pursue? If the answer is yes, then step 3, another realization. Realize that just like anything in life that's worth doing, it's going to take some sacrifice, some work, and some time. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you're aware of what it's going to take and you're ready. And then step 4, you need to find a solution that you believe in and then commit to it. Because once you have a little belief in yourself, a lot of belief in your coach or the system you're using, and some commitment, you've already won half the battle. So here's the thing. If you're listening to this podcast, especially around the time this episode comes out in late December, it's probably safe to assume you have some weight loss goals. It's also probably safe to assume you'll go after these goals big time in the new year. I totally understand. It makes sense. Now, here's what you might not realize. You have some choices to make. You have a lot of choices to make. How are you going to pursue these goals? Like I said, what's your solution going to be? Will you start a diet? If so, which diet? Should you do keto or maybe intermittent fasting or Whole30? Or will you do a detox to kickstart your results? I hope not, but that's a choice you have. And if so, then what are you going to do after that? Will you join a gym? Will you hire a trainer? Will you work out at home? Will you try to work off the weight with 6 or 7 workouts per week, or do you want to just start with 2 or 3? Will you do a weight loss challenge that one of your friends is promoting? Will you just try to do it on your own by cutting out bread or guessing and checking like I've talked about before, cutting out sugar or not eating after 5, or maybe just trying to, quote unquote, watch what you eat and eat healthier overall, which I can appreciate that approach, but it just sadly rarely works. Hopefully you can see my point here. The options are endless. And just getting started with anything can be totally overwhelming and confusing. And this is why I want to help. I'm offering a free live interactive class. As I mentioned earlier, it's Thursday, January 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, let me be very, very clear about a few things. This is not some standard webinar where you just sit through like an hour and 15 minutes of someone trying to convince you to buy their product, hoping they might actually look over at the chat box and answer your question. This is going to be a live interactive class where I explain the typical weight loss approach that leads to roughly a 97% failure rate, which sadly you might have experienced before. And then I'll explain a different method, a different way to approach losing weight that leads to true life-changing long-term success. It leads to a better relationship with food and more confidence in yourself and in your body. I'm going to tell you the step-by-step process, the step-by-step method that I use to coach my clients. And then here's the thing. I will answer all of your questions live, right then, right there. No food or workout or supplement or weight loss topic is off limits. This class is 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. Some weight, if you want to lose weight. If you want to lose weight and finally not gain it back, then go to everybodyhatesdiets.com. That link is down in the show notes. Register and then put it on your calendar to attend. It's so important that you attend. I want to see you. I want to meet you. I want to interact with you. Okay? Okay. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you'll register for the upcoming free class or free coaching call. It's really more like a coaching call. I hope you'll share this episode with someone you care about. And I hope you'll invite them. Invite someone else to attend the class with you. It'll be a ton of fun. I'd love to see you both there and help you get set up for tremendous success this new year. Now, let's wrap this up like we always do. Remember, there's so much more to you and your body than a number on a machine, so don't let the scales dominate your headspace or dictate your emotions for the day. No, no, no. And losing weight, it's amazing. I love helping people lose weight, but losing weight is really about so much more than just seeing the number on the scale go down. Losing weight is about gaining life and living the life you've always wanted to. And you can do it. I know you can. Like I mentioned earlier, just have enough belief to get started, and then you can borrow my belief. You can borrow some of my insatiable positivity. Okay? Okay. Much love, my friends. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.